What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Cass here, and we are here to really sit down and talk about our top 5 NFL sleeper prospects for the 2021 draft. As you guys remember, we are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, and some of these guys are guys that I feel like are being very much overlooked or overscouted. Like, some of these guys are just not being looked at as high key prospects that I think they should be looked at as high key prospects. And some of these guys are being over scouted, which means that they're being parts of their games are being overlooked and are being over accounted for. So let's get right into it with our number 5 selection. Our number 5 pick is Antonio Phillips. He's a cornerback out of the University of Ball State. He has ideal size for a NFL corner that plays in the slot and can play outside. He's 6 foot, 191 pounds. His positives is he played over 2,100 snaps at the University of Ball State. Incredible leadership also from Antonio Phillips on the defensive side of the football. But the 2,100 snaps shows that he has durability. That's a lot of snaps to take at the collegiate level. His negativities, though, is he doesn't draw a lot of interceptions. You can very much compare him to Darrelle Revis in the NFL. Revis is an all-time great corner, but didn't draw a lot of interceptions his way. And that's one thing that you've got to really think about with Antonio Phillips is maybe it's not as much as of a negativity as he's not worrying about himself. As Antonio Phillips' first idea when he sees the ball in the air isn't to make sure he secures the ball, is to make sure the receiver doesn't. And that's a very old state mindset. And it may be why Antonio Phillips isn't getting the scouting that I think he deserves. But one thing he does need work on is he needs work on decision making at the pro level. Now, like I had said, 8 of those interceptions in his past 4 seasons, 6 went for pick sixes. So he's incredible with the ball in his hands as well. He's versatile. You can use him as kick and punt returner. But he needs work with decision making. Because when he gets those interceptions, he baits the quarterback, which leaves his original route wide open. So when the quarterback notices that and he throws to his original route, it's for a touchdown. So he needs work with pro-level coaches with decision-making. But that is my first sleeper prospect for this 2021 draft, NFL comparison, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Next pick, Josh Palmer, wide receiver, Tennessee. Josh Palmer has incredible size for an outside wide receiver, 6'1", 210. Now, he's not a gargantuan guy like Julio Jones was coming out of Alabama, 6'6", 215. But he has incredible hands in the air with jump balls. With Josh Palmer has drawn that Julio Jones comparison his entire career with the way he is able to just snatch balls out of the air. And he even had a very great game against the number 1 corner in the class, in my opinion, Patrick Surtain, against the University of Alabama. Now, his negativities come with limited production. And he hasn't eclipsed 500 yards in both of his seasons at the University of Tennessee as a starter. Now, you can't really blame that on Palmer as much as bad quarterback play from the University of Tennessee. But another thing that you can really look at with Palmer is he does have some drop concerns. Not as much as some of the other receivers in this class, such as Rashad Bateman. Bateman has a 12.6 drop percentage on passes thrown his way, while Palmer's is only a 7.8. That's still pretty high for a receiver, and that's at the collegiate level, where you can put 1 foot in bounds and not 2. So you've got to really think, can Palmer transition to the elite level, to the NFL? I believe he can. I believe he's a really good receiver. I believe if he went to any other university than the University of Tennessee, we're talking about Palmer being a top 15, top 10 draft pick. NFL comparison, Julio Jones. Here we go. Marvin Wilson, defensive tackle, Florida State. 6'5", 305 pounds. This is a monster defensive tackle. He's fast for 300 pounds, and in just 3 years at the University of Florida State from the defensive tackle position, he racked up an incredible 205 tackles, 8 sacks, and 20 tackles for loss. He is a monster in the interior of the defensive line, but he does have some negativities. His knee injury he had his second year. His sophomore year has drawn some concerns on the elite level. And also his maturing may be an issue. He was known as a partier at Florida State. And with the issue that Tennessee went through last year with Isaiah Wilson, who was also known as a partier at Georgia, and then they drafted Wilson, and Wilson never played a snap for him, you got to think that people are going to be really looking into that with Marvin Wilson. And it may implement his draft stock. And you may have already seen some of that because he's now rumored to be a third-round selection. And before this year, he was rumored to be a first-round selection. So knee concerns plus maturity issues may be the reason for Marvin Wilson dropping down draft boards. But he's a monster inside. If a coach can come in and coach Marvin Wilson, they have a Pro Bowler on their hands. And 31 teams that pass up on Marvin Wilson have an issue on the interior of the defensive line. NFL comparison, Aaron Donald. Jamie Newman. Jamie Newman is an incredible quarterback who has great precision down the field. He's a really good quarterback. He's 6'4", 230, which is kind of the ideal size for a quarterback. He's not Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", 240, but he's almost there. He's got great downfield accuracy. If you just go and watch some Jamie Newman tapes at Wake Forest, you'll see a quarterback just putting it in the pocket. He has great production with limited help at Wake Forest as well. Come on, guys. We've all seen it. Wake Forest is not that great of a football team and never has been. But they had a quarterback these last couple of years that is absolutely incredible, who's out working like Tom Brady with limited production and just making it work, putting up incredible stats. Now, some problems with Newman is he's reckless with the football. If he sees just a smidge of an opening, he's going to toss it in there. And that kind of leads to Newman stacking up on the interceptions. He's had interceptions issues in his career. And hopefully a lot of NFL teams are hoping that doesn't transition to the next level. And he also struggles with intermediate throws. He very much reminds me of the quarterback a couple of years ago out of Buffalo. Newman's definitely better than Tyree Jackson. But Jackson just put too much on the ball. And it seems like Newman does that too, where he's trying to get the ball to his receivers so fast, he puts too much on the football, and it causes a lot of overthrows for Newman. You see that a lot with Broncos quarterback Drew Lock. Lock does that a lot too, where he puts too much mustard on the football, and it just overthrows. Jamie Newman's a very good quarterback. I could see him being a backup for probably a couple of years, maybe getting some starts his first couple of years. But Newman's definitely going to start on Sundays eventually. If he can learn to not put so much on the football and trust his technique. Newman, NFL comparison, Alex Smith. And here we go, the superstar of the draft in my opinion. Texas A&M's Kellen Mond. 6'3", 217. This quarterback is electric when you watch him. His positivities is he walked into the hardest division in football, the SEC. And since he walked in, has the greatest winning percentage of any quarterback to ever compete within the SEC. He's smart. He has smart decision making. And a lot of people would say about that great winning percentage is, oh, he played 6 years there. He played 5 years there. Yeah, he played extra years. But to win within the SEC takes guts. And that's what Texas A&M's quarterback Kellen Mond has. He has smart decision-making. The only problem with Mond is he doesn't seem to trust his mobility enough. Kellen Mond is an absolute great athlete. at 217. Can get the first down with his legs, but he doesn't seem to want to be labeled as a mobile guy, which you can understand because at the NFL level, that kind of hurts your draft stock to be labeled a mobility guy, because we've seen mobility guys fail in the past, such as Jamarcus Russell, Marcus Mariota, Tim Tebow even. Mobility guys have failed, but you would think after the rise recently of Lamar Jackson that Mond wouldn't be so afraid to use his mobility as much. And another problem is Kellen Mond doesn't have a rocket for an arm. He has a balanced arm. He can get the ball down the field, but it's not a Patrick Mahomes arm. It's not a Josh Allen arm. He doesn't have an incredible arm. But Kellen Mond is, in my opinion, the number 4 quarterback in this class. In my opinion, it goes Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Kellen Mond, Trey Lance. Kellen Mond is incredible. And I don't even know how there's a debate between Lance and Mond, because Lance has played 2 seasons. Yeah, he had 18 touchdowns, 0 interceptions at North Dakota State, a Division II school, while Kellen Mond walked in the hardest division in Division I football and put up the greatest winning percentage anybody has ever seen within the SEC. I believe Kellen Mond is a first-round draft pick. He is an incredible mobility guy, and he can be a great quarterback within the NFL. He will be a starter on Sundays, and I am predicting a lot of teams aren't talking about Mond because of what they're trying to do, because they're trying to sneak Mond in the first round. NFL comparison, Ryan Tannehill. I hope you guys enjoy our top 5 NFL sleepers here. But remember, guys, don't forget, if you like these type of videos, if you like my mock drafts, if you like the series that I have planned in the future, hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment and tell me what video or what team do you want to see discussed next. Bye, guys. It's been your boy Cass, and I'm out.